Hey, I'm Nick Rathjen. I'm the Managing Director of FBM. FBM is a high-impact explorer and developer, with our flagship asset being the Coolgardie Gold and Lithium project located just south of Coolgardie in the Eastern Goldfields, which we own 100% of and free of any third-party royalties. The Coolgardie Gold and Lithium project, as I said, is situated just south of Coolgardie. It's a historical gold belt. You've got operations and developing companies in there such as Focus Minerals with their mill just outside of the town. Then you've also got other operating mills in the area. You've got developers such as Horizon with the Burbanks gold deposit, 500,000 ounces at 2 grams. And Beacon Minerals with their operating McPherson deposit as well, 120,000 ounces. And the Coolgardie Gold and Lithium project is broken up to 3 pieces. You've got Kangaroo Hills, Miriam and Burbanks East. And across that tenure, particularly Miriam and Burbanks East is predominantly gold focused exploration. At Kangaroo Hills, we have already done an exceptional amount of lithium exploration drilling, which is now on hold with our focus moving forward on the gold, and highlighted by the recent phase 1 results out of Miriam. In addition to being a management team and a board, we're also investors. And so the way that we approach things is we look for assets that we can generate substantial value. The key for metrics that we look at and continue to look at is tier 1 jurisdictions, exceptional geology. Third place is infrastructure, access to skills, labour, utility work, area of influence around other capacity, particularly milling. And the fourth is ground that's been underexplored, or there's just exceptionally more blue sky. And when we acquired the Miriam project in May, it ticked all those boxes. And the main bit there on the last bit, we're 15 k's from 3 operating mills, 25 from 5 mills. But importantly on the last bit being the historical drilling there. The last time the project was drilled was 30 years ago. And with that drilling, it was limited to a specific area and largely air core, so no testing of any mineralisation at depth. But what they were able to find in that drilling historically is there's high grade and thick intercepts there of, typical of 10, 12 metres at 2 grams within the top, 20 metres from surface, really within an oxide zone. But what we saw with that project is that there was potential mineralisation at depth. There's extension through that ore body, and the phase 1 program was to target that mineralisation, which is the forest prospect. We've just announced the 10 first holes that we're targeting forest, and within that we've been able to do 3 things, being 1, confirm the historical data and actually exceptionally beat it with a 29 metre intercept at 1.5 grams. But in addition to that, the 2 other components is we're able to find a new lode to the west that's much higher grade and much thicker, and that remains open in 3 directions out on the western flank. And that was a 33 metre hit at 1.6 grams, again within from 35 metres from surface. So that's a really attractive opportunity for growth for us as well. And the third one is we've found that feeder zone in the fresh rock. So what that means is now that we're seeing the mineralisation dip below the oxide, we're seeing where it's going. Now it's just about following that mineralisation and continuing to extend the ore body there. But the second part of the drilling, and this has all been achieved on only 10 holes. So 9 of the 10 holes hit mineralisation, with over 6 of them hitting over 20 grams per metre, which is exceptional. But of the program, there was 21 holes in total and 1,900 metres, and the remaining 11 assays are actually for another target called Canyon, which sits 2 kilometres south of Forest, but it sits along the same shear, so the same structure, where it sits between 2 formations there, and something that we see as a really large gold-bearing unit, and that runs all the way to the top of the tenure and around towards the Burbanks project. So you've got 5 kilometres of that shear zone to test. And so we went down there, we saw a large structural target there. We did soil sampling in July. The results came back very compelling, being up to and over 1.5 gram in the soils, or 1.5 ppm. Where typically with soils, if you're achieving over 50 ppb, parts per billion, you've got an anomalous zone. So it's a really red hot target there for us. And then when we went down there, as we always do, we kicked the dirt. We saw that there was a number of historical shafts that dove quite deep, over 20 metres. And typically that's akin to people seeing mineralisation or seeing opportunity and going down and doing it. So those three factors really was what compelled us to bring that target to the fold and test that, which was quite exciting. So those assays are due in the next 2 weeks, so we're eagerly waiting for those assays. But needless to say, with the first results from Forest, the first 10 holes, we'll be going out pretty promptly to go and extend Forest in all three open directions there, and particularly to go down and test the fresh opportunity along strike, but also down dip below the oxide zone. And then we'll wait for canyon results, and that will sort of help us work out how big the program looks and where we go from there. But with the ground stacked with over there's four other mineralised targets from historical drilling, 16 metres at 1 gram and 5 metres at over 4 grams through these various targets, one of which sits in between canyon and forest. It's a pretty compelling story for us to go back continuously to drill over the next 12 months and test all these opportunities, particularly how large scale they can be. And we've got all the drill permits and clearances to do so. On the board, we've got chair being Nev Powell, the CEO of Fortescue for 8 years, tripled their production capacity, also the founding chairman of Genesis Minerals, a large gold producer here in WA, Matt Copper that just got acquired for 1.5 billion, and various other things. And then beside him as a net is Rob Waugh, who is famously known for his tenure at Musgrave Minerals as MD, taking that through to being sold in 2023 to Ramelius for over $200 million, which is an exceptional outcome there, but has a pedigree across WA and various commodities as well. And then myself, again, experience in developing projects from discovery through to production and sale, and really taking them through those gates of advancement and making sure that it's very clear what the opportunity is here. And the other key member of the team is Robert Cox, who's the technical director and who has led all the discoveries for the company, both on the lithium front and now on the gold. So he's got a pedigree from De Grey, where he was working up at Hemi, and also with Mineral Resources drilling out Wodgina. So really, really capable, experience across WA, and again, we've got that yin and yang balance of historical, good experience, wise heads, I would say, with the youth and energy to go out and get these things done. There's obviously the current activities that are pending, being the remaining assays from a phase 1 program that targeted canyon. So to come out in the next 1 to 2 weeks. Beyond that, there is an extensional amount of drilling activity there that we're going to methodically, rapidly go through and test these targets, grow the system, and through the Coolgardie tenure, not only Miriam, but over at our Burbanks East tenure, grow a substantial gold asset and gold portfolio is our plan. But in addition to that, we're not letting down our guard and looking at new opportunities. So I think there is, as we continue to remain focused on gold, and again, high value, high potential gold, we look to build that portfolio, again, focused in WA. Yeah, and importantly, we have a cash balance of over 6.4 million as at the June quarter, that we're well funded to undertake all the exploration this year and truly into the next to really discover hopefully some new discoveries, but to maximise that value and grow the Coolgardie project.